Hello everyone. Good Shepherds High School, Belapur. Welcome you all for online learning session. Standard 7th, subject history, chapter number 2, topic India before the times of Shivaji Maharaj. Children, we will learn about the various ruling powers in India before the times of Shivaji Maharaj in this lesson. Who were the emperors and kings before Shivaji Maharaj? Various ruling powers existed in India during that period. Pal in the 8th century was a famous dynasty in Bengal. Children, dynasty will come in this whole chapter, this word dynasty. Dynasty means what? A series of rulers who are from the same family. They are called as dynasty. Okay, like Pal dynasty, Chauhan dynasty, Rajput dynasty, like that. So rulers who are coming from the same family is called as dynasty. In central India, the Gurjar Pratihar power spread up to Andhra, Kalinga, Vidarbha, West Kathiawar, Kannauj and Gujarat. So their powers were spread to these all states. Among the Rajput dynasty, again see dynasties. Rajput dynasties means rulers coming from one family. In North India, the Gadwal and the Parmar dynasties were the important ones. And from the Rajput dynasties, no, these two dynasties were important. The Gadwal and the Parmar. Among Rajputs, Prithviraj Chauhan, belonging to the Chauhan dynasty, was a valiant king. Means courageous king he was. Who? Prithviraj Chauhan. In the first war at Tarai, Prithviraj Chauhan had defeated Muhammad Ghuri. But later on, Muhammad Ghuri also defeated Prithviraj Chauhan in the second war at Tarai. Rajraj I and Rajendra I, belonging to the Chola dynasty in Tamil Nadu, were eminent rulers. Eminent means important rulers, famous rulers. Children, see all the dynasties and they are belonging from which state and who are they. These only questions are going to come from this lesson. So it will be quite difficult to understand, but if you will read it in interesting with full of interest, then you will not forget all these kings, rulers and all. Please create interest in history, children. Okay, the Cholas conquered the Maldives island and Sri Lanka using their naval strength. Naval means navy. How army is there, like in the sea, navy is there. So the Cholas, they conquered Maldives islands and Sri Lanka. Okay, King Vishnuvardhan, belonging to the Hoysala dynasty in Karnataka, had conquered the whole of Karnataka. So Karnataka was conquered by King Vishnuvardhan and his dynasty was Hoysala, like that. During the region of Govind III of the Rashtrakuta dynasty in Maharashtra, the Rashtrakuta power spread from Kannauj up to Rameshwar. Later, Krishna III conquered the region up to Allahabad. Okay, children. Then 3 dynasties of the Shilhars emerged in western Maharashtra. 3 dynasties. One dynasty ruled over Thane and Raigad in the North Konkan, the second in South Konkan, while the third dynasty ruled over some parts of the present day Kolhapur, Satara, Sangli and Belgaum districts. Okay, three dynasties of the Shilhars, they emerged in western Maharashtra. One dynasty ruled over Thane and Raigad in North Konkan, and the second in South Konkan, while the third dynasty ruled over some parts of Kolhapur, Satara, Sangli and Belgaum district. The last prosperous power before the period of Shivaji Maharaj was that of the Yadavas. Prosperous, very rich. The capital of Bhillam Phai of the Yadava dynasty was at Deogiri near Aurangabad. He extended his rule beyond the river Krishna. Then the Yadava period is considered to be the golden period of Marathi language and literature. This can come in fill in the blanks or name the following children. The Yadava period is considered to be the golden period of Marathi language and literature. It was in this period that the Mahanubhav Panth and the Warkari movement started to become known, like famous, emerged. Okay. Invasion from the northwest. Local dynasties like the Yadava and Rashtrakuta ruled in Maharashtra, but invaders, those who are attackers from the northwest, conquered the local dynasties there and established their own rule. Got it? Now local dynasties like the Yadava and Rashtrakuta, they ruled in Maharashtra, but those who are attackers, they came from northwest and they conquered the whole dynasty, these local dynasties. In the meanwhile, the Arab power had emerged in the Middle East. Now they have, the upcoming powers were Arab power. Arab rulers turned towards India to expand their empire. The Arab general Muhammad bin Qasim attacked the Sindh province in the 8th century. Notwithstanding the resistance of King Dahir, notwithstanding means in spite of something, in spite of the resistance of King Dahir, he conquered the province of Sindh. King Dahir was there, then too he conquered the province of Sindh. Due to this campaign, the Arabs came into political contact with India for the first time. In the period that followed, Turks, Afghans and Mughals from Central Asia came to India and established their power here. Got it, children? In the 11th century, the Turks began to invade India. Now these Turks started invading, आक्रमण करने लग गए इंडिया पे. Expanding their territories, they reached the northwestern frontier of India. Sultan Muhammad of Ghazni invaded India many times. He plundered the rich temples at Mathura, Vrindavan, Kanauj and Somnath and carried away enormous wealth with him. Who? Sultan Muhammad of Ghazni. Okay, these Turks, they looted our wealth of these temples, Mathura, Vrindavan, Kanauj and Somnath. Sultanate in the north. In 1175 and 1178, Sultan Muhammad Ghuri of Ghur from Afghanistan invaded India. See, he appointed Qutbuddin Aibak to look after the governance of the conquered territories in India. Those territories who are under their influence, so that governance responsibility was on Qutbuddin Aibak. Later, after the death of Muhammad Ghuri in 1206, Aibak began to rule the Indian territories under his rule, and that is also independently. Aibak, who was initially शुरुआत में वो slave था, became the ruler of Delhi, and he died in 1210. Okay, children, do you know after Kutubuddin Aibak, Iltutmish, Razia, Bulban, Alauddin Khilji, you must be knowing the name. Muhammad bin Taghlaq, Firuz Taghlaq, Ibrahim Lodi, and other sultans ruled over India. Ibrahim Lodi was the last sultan. He made many enemies because of his peculiar temperament. His nature was only worse like. Daulat Khan Lodi, governor of Punjab, invited Babur, the ruler of Kabul, to fight against Ibrahim Lodi. Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi in the battle, and thus the sultanate came to an end. Okay, children? Next, the kingdom of Vijayanagar. During the reign, means rule of Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq of Delhi, there were many revolts, fights in the south against the central power of Delhi. From these revolts arose the formidable Vijayanagar and Bahmani kingdoms, where it started in Vijayanagar and Bahmani kingdoms. The brothers Harihar and Bukka from South India were Sardars in the service of the Delhi Sultanate. Taking advantage of the instability in the south during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, they founded the kingdom of Vijayanagar in the south in 1336. Hampi in today's Karnataka, very nice place, Hampi, was the capital of this kingdom. Harihar was the first king of Vijayanagar. Harihar was succeeded by his brother Bukka. Succeeded means after Harihar, Bukka came. Bukka brought the reign up to Rameshwar under his control. So Bukka also covered the whole Rameshwar. Got it? These were kingdom of Vijayanagar. Now we will learn Krishnadevaraya. Krishnadevaraya ascended the throne of Vijayanagar in 1506. He ascended the throne of Vijayanagar. Means throne means mukut, Raja ka mukut mila. He conquered Vijayawada and Rajmahendri and annexed the regions to his kingdom. Annexed means uske baji wala. He defeated the combined forces of the armies of the sultans who had united under the leadership of the Bahmani Sultan Muhammad Shah during Krishnadevaraya's reign. Reign means rule. The kingdom of Vijayanagar extended from Cuttack in the east up to Goa. See, now they have spread their rule from Cuttack to Goa in the west, and from Raichur Doab in the north up to the Indian Ocean to the south. Big achievement he has made, but he died in 1530. Krishnadevaraya was a scholar. He wrote Amutkamallayada, a Telugu compendium on polity. On politics he has wrote in a book, Amutkamallayada. The Hazar Ram temple and Vitthal temple were built in Vijayanagar during his rule. The decline of Vijayanagar kingdom began with the death of Krishnadevaraya. After his death, nobody was so much strong like. In 1565, at Talikot in the present state of Karnataka, there was a battle between Adil Shahi, Nizam Shahi, Qutub Shahi, Bardi Shahi on one side and Vijayanagar on the other side. Vijayanagar was defeated. Thereafter, the dominance of Vijayanagar came to an end. Now emerged the Bahmani kingdom, while Muhammad bin Tughlaq was still ruling. Some of his Sardars in the Deccan rose in the rebellion against him. The leader of these Sardars, Hasan Gangu, defeated the army of the Sultan of Delhi, and a new kingdom known as the Bahmani kingdom came into existence in 1347. Hasan Gangu became the first Sultan of the Bahmani kingdom. He made the city of Gulbarga in Karnataka his capital. So in Karnataka, the Gulbarga was the capital. Now comes Muhammad Gawan. Muhammad Gawan was the chief wazir of the Bahmani kingdom. He was a good administrator and he strengthened Bahmani kingdom. Whose administration is good, no children, that particular organization always becomes strong. He started paying the soldiers their salaries in cash instead of through land grants. He brought discipline in the army. Very good. He introduced many reforms, changes in the land revenue system. He opened a madrasa at Bidar for Arabic and Persian studies. Means good development he has done. After death of Muhammad Gawan, factionism increased among the Bahmani Sardars. Children, factionism means after Gawan died, no? Factionism means arguments increased among the Bahmani Sardars. The conflict with the Vijayanagar kingdom had an adverse effect on the Bahmani kingdom. The provincial governors began to act more independently, and this led to the disintegration. In particular organization, if there are 2-3 different boss, then the organization gets spoiled. This led to the disintegration of the Bahmani kingdom into 5 small powers: Imad Shahi of Warhad, Barid Shahi of Bidar, Adil Shahi of Bijapur, Nizam Shahi of Ahmednagar, and Qutub Shahi of Golconda. And this kingdom was divided. Okay, children? Now, Mughal power. In 1526, the Sultanate of Delhi came to an end and Mughal power was established there. Now came Babur. Babur was the first founder of Mughal emperor. He was the king of Farghana in Central Asia, in today's Uzbekistan. He had heard of the wealth in India. He came to know that in India sone ka chidiya. So he planned an invasion of India, आक्रमण करने का इंडिया पे. The reigning Sultan of Delhi at that time was Ibrahim Lodi. That time the ruler was Ibrahim Lodi. Daulat Khan Lodi was the governor of Punjab under the Sultanate. The relationship between Ibrahim Lodi and Daulat Khan Lodi was strained. What do you mean by strained? Tanav. Daulat Khan Lodi invited Babur to march on India. Taking this opportunity, Aao Dushman Aao, Babur invaded India. To repel Babur's invasion, Ibrahim Lodi started with his army. Now he welcomed, and see what he did. So there was a battle between Ibrahim Lodi and Babur on 21st April 1526 at Panipat. In this battle, Babur made use of an artillery effective for the first time in India. Children, in this battle, Babur made use of an artillery effectively for the first time in India. Artillery means a group of army he started. He defeated Ibrahim Lodi's army. Artillery means, children, military. Military they brought first time in India. This is known as the first battle of Panipat. This is a very important paragraph. After the battle of Panipat, Rana Sanga of Mewad brought all Rajput kings together. There was a battle between Babur and Rana Sanga at Khanaur. Babur's artillery and reserved force played a key role in this battle, and Rana Sanga's army was defeated. And Babur died in 1530. Do you know? After Babur, Humayun 1530 to 1539, and from 1555 to 1556 ascended the throne. He was defeated by Sher Shah. Sher Shah established the Sur dynasty on the throne of Delhi. After Humayun, Akbar ascended the throne. There was a battle between Akbar and Himu at Panipat in 1556. This is the second battle of Panipat between Himu and Akbar. Okay, children. Then after Akbar, Jahangir became the emperor. During his reign, his wife Nurjahan played an active role in the administration. Jahangir was followed by Shah Jahan as the emperor. And the next emperor after Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb ruled from 1658 to 1707 for a very long time. After his death, after Aurangzeb's death, the Mughal emperor became weak. Akbar was the most powerful king of the Mughal dynasty. When he tried to bring India under his central authority, he had to face opposition. Maharana Pratap, Chand Bibi, Rani Durgavati struggled against him. Their struggle is noteworthy. Means now we will read their fights and what they achieved. Maharana Pratap. After the death of Uday Singh, Maharana Pratap ascended the throne of Mewar. Ascended matlab children accepted. Svikara. He continued the struggle for Mewar's existence. Till the very end, he struggled with Akbar to maintain his independence. He has become immortal in history. Immortal matlab अमर रहे हैं ड्यू टू हिज क्वालिटीज़ ऑफ वैलर, शूरवीरता, करेज, सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट, सेक्रीफाइस एक्सेट्रा. Then Chand Bibi, the Mughals attacked Ahmednagar, the capital of Nizam Shah's kingdom. In 1595, the Mughal army put the fort of Ahmednagar under siege. Chand Bibi, the capable daughter of Hussain Nizam Shah of Ahmednagar, bravely defended the fort. At this time, there was an internal strife among the factions of the Sardars in Nizam Shahi's kingdom. इंटरनल, अगर फैमिली में अगर झगड़ा है, अगर हमारे आपस में झगड़ा है तो कोई दूसरा हम पर राज करके चला जाएगा. दिस रिजल्टेड इन द मर्डर ऑफ चांद बीबी. लेटर द मुगल्स कैप्चर्ड द फोर्ट ऑफ अहमदनगर, बट द मुगल्स कुड नॉट ब्रिंग एंटायर किंगडम ऑफ निज़ाम शाही अंडर देयर कंट्रोल. देन केम रानी दुर्गावती. गोंडवाना कैन ब्रॉडली be said to comprise the eastern part of Vidarbha, part of Madhya Pradesh to its north. The western parts of today's Chhattisgarh, northern part of Andhra Pradesh and the western part of Odisha, she was ruling. Durgavati, born in the dynasty Chandel Rajput, became the queen of Gondwana when she was married. She was an excellent administrator, and the struggle of Gondwana Queen Durgavati against the Mughals is important in medieval period. After her husband's death, Durgavati laid down her life while fighting against Akbar, but she did not surrender. Very good. Next, Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb became the emperor in 1658. At this time, the Mughal Empire extended from Kashmir in the north up to Ahmednagar in the south, and from Kabul in the west up to Bengal in the east. Means Aurangzeb have captured the whole India. To this, Aurangzeb added Assam in the east and the regions of Adil Shahi of Bijapur in the south and Qutub Shahi of Golconda after he ended these kingdoms. Conflict with Ahoms. In the 13th century CE, the people of the Shan community settled down in the valley of river Brahmaputra. They established their kingdom there. They were locally known as Ahom people. While Aurangzeb ruled, the Ahoms had a prolonged struggle with the Mughals. They were fighting with the Mughals. The Mughals attacked the Ahoms region. The Ahoms united under the leadership of Gadadhar Sinha, Commander Lachit Borphukan gave an intense battle against the Mughals. They fought very bravely. The Ahoms used the guerrilla technique, means fighting from the jungle, in the conflict against the Mughals. It became impossible for Mughal to create a strong base in Assam because they were like kind of Adivasis, no? They were fighting guerrilla warfare. Conflict with Sikhs. The ninth Guru of the Sikh, Guru Tegh Bahadur protested strongly against Aurangzeb's policy of religious intolerance. Aurangzeb imprisoned him and beheaded him in 1675. After him, Guru Gobind Singh became the Guru of the Sikh. Beheaded मतलब उनका सिर छेद कर दिया. Guru Gobind Singh organized his followers and encouraged their martial spirit. You know martial means what, children? War spirit. He organized the Sikh youths into a fighting force called the Khalsa Dal. Their headquarters were at Anandpur. Aurangzeb sent his army to fight the Sikhs. His army attacked Anandpur. Although the Sikhs fought fiercely, very bravely, they did not succeed. After that, Guru Gobind Singh came to Deccan in 1708. There was an attempt on his life when he was at Nanded. लोगों ने कोशिश किया वहाँ के. Soon after, Guru succumbed to his wound. Guru that time died. Conflict with Rajputs. Akbar has secured the cooperation of the Rajputs with his policy of amicable relations, a good relation. Aurangzeb could not obtain cooperation of Rajputs. After death of Rana Jaswant Singh of Marwad, Aurangzeb annexed his kingdom to the brought kingdom to the Mughal Empire. Durgadas Rathod crowned Jaswant Singh's minor son Ajit Singh as the king of Marwad. Durgadas Rathod fought hard against the Mughals. Aurangzeb sent Prince Akbar to Marwad to crush the resistance of Durgadas. Prince Akbar joined hands with Rajputs and rose in revolt against Aurangzeb. An effort was made to seek help from the Marathas in Maharashtra. In this revolt, Durgadas Rathod continued this struggle against the Mughal for the existence of Marwad. This story, Bajirao Mastani, if you can watch this movie, you will come to know. And Padmavati. Conflicts with the Marathas. In Maharashtra, Swaraj was established under the leadership of Shivaji Maharaj. In his efforts to establish Swaraj, Shivaji Maharaj had to fight the Mughals too, along with other enemies. Aurangzeb came down to Deccan after the death of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj with the intention of conquering the whole of South India. But the Marathas offered stiff resistance, fight karte rahe, to Aurangzeb and defended their independence. We shall study this struggle later on. Children, now we will go to the exercise. Okay, name the following. Now this kind of questions only will come. The Queen of Gondwana. Who was the Queen of Gondwana? Write it down. Rani Durgavati. Son of Uday Singh, Maharana Pratap. The founder of Mughal dynasty, Babur. The first Sultan of the Bahmani kingdom, Hasan Gangu. The fighting force established by Guru Gobind Singh, Khalsa Dal. Okay, children. Next, find odd one out. Sultan Muhammad, Qutubuddin Aibak, Muhammad Ghuri, Babur. What is the odd man out? Babur. Adil Shahi, Nizam Shahi, Sultanate, Barid Shahi. Sultanate. Sultanate is the odd man out. Akbar, Humayun, Sher Shah, Aurangzeb. Sher Shah. Rest they are from one family. Now, answer briefly. I will dictate, you have to write it down. Okay, children? How did the kingdoms of Vijayanagar and Bahmani emerge? Came to know. There were, answer, there were many revolts in the south against the central power of Delhi during the reign of Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq of Delhi. It was during these revolts that the kingdoms of Vijayanagar and Bahamani arose. Okay, second question. What reforms, what changes did Muhammad Gawan make? Muhammad Gawan was a good administrator and strengthened the Bahamani kingdom by introducing many reforms, changes. He started paying the soldiers their salaries in cash instead of through land grants. He introduced reforms in the land revenue system. He opened a madrasa at Bidar for Arabic and Persian studies. Okay, next question. Why did it become impossible for Mughals to strengthen their base in Assam? What was the reason? The Ahoms. Answer. The Ahoms had a prolonged struggle with the Mughals. Next. The Ahoms united under the leadership of Gadadhar Sinha. You can refer your textbook, children. Commander Lachit Borpukhan gave an intense battle against the Mughals. The Ahoms used the guerrilla technique in the conflict against the Mughals. Hence, it became impossible for Mughals to create a strong base in Assam. Now, write about them briefly in your own words. Krishna Dev Raya. You are having that paragraph, right? You can write it down. Where it is? Krishna Dev Raya. This paragraph. You can write 5 points. Okay, children, from that paragraph. Five to 8 points you can write. Okay, children. Chand Bibi, that paragraph you are having. Rani Durgavati. 5 to 8 points you can write. Next, give reason. The Bahamani kingdom disintegrated into 5 fragments. I'll dictate answer for you all. After the death of Muhammad Gawan, factionism increased, means conflicts increased among the Bahamani Sardars. The conflict with the Vijayanagar kingdom had an adverse effect on the Bahamani kingdom. The provincial governors began to act more independently. This led to the disintegration of the Bahamani kingdom into 5 fragments. Second question. Rana Sanga's army was defeated. Rana Sanga's army was defeated because Babur's artillery and reserved force played a key role in the battle. Children, artillery means military force. Next. Rana Pratap has become immortal in history. Answer. Maharana Pratap continued the struggle for Mewad's existence. Till the very end, he struggled with the Akbar to maintain his independence. He became immortal in history due to his qualities of valor, courage, self-respect and sacrifice. Next. Aurangzeb imprisoned Guru Tegh Bahadur. Answer. The 9th Guru of the Sikhs, Guru Tegh Bahadur, protested strongly against Aurangzeb's policy of religious intolerance. Hence, Aurangzeb imprisoned him. Next question. The Rajputs fought against the Mughals. The Rajputs fought against the Mughals because after the death of Rana Jaswant Singh of Marwad, Aurangzeb annexed his kingdom to the Mughal Empire. Next, complete the timeline. 1336 CE, what was there? Establishment of Vijayanagar kingdom. Then 1347, establishment of Bahamani kingdom. 1506, Krishnadevaraya ascended the throne of Vijayanagar. 1526, establishment of the Mughal power. Children, using the internet, find out more about any one of the personalities you have studied here and fill in the box below. I know this. Any of the emperor you write and write a few lines on him. Okay? Children, here your lesson number 2 gets over. Children, I want you all to read in interest. Create interest in history, children. It is very good subject for IAS, IPS exams. No, children, you will be getting questions from this only. Kaun banega Karodpati, also they ask question from this history subject only lot, and people are not able to give the answer. So if you will read this, you can become a Karodpati. Got it, children? You can go and play Kaun banega Karodpati if you are interested in history. I want you all to inculcate interest in history, children. Okay? We will meet when after the lockdown. We will enjoy the subject history. Okay? Here our lesson gets over. Thank you.